NittanyLionRoar with Extreme Panda here, and about a week ago I summoned Loki, so I'd like to take her for a test run now that I have her all maxed up. So I'm just going to do some raid revenges today. I'm going to look primarily for Teleria tanks, I think, especially with the Vela flanks and Gravemaker flanks, just to see how well she can deal with that. So yeah, here we go. First one against Phoenix. I have no idea how this is going to go, but that's why I'm testing it out. Is Loki going to be any good? I don't have any emblems on her yet, and if she shows some promise, I probably will put some emblems on her. I have my fighter emblems on Poseidon right now, but I think I'll split them between her and Tyr, because I also got Tyr. They're both fighters. Those are good classes, especially in red, whenever there's all the Teleria tanks. So this may be awesome. This may be terrible. I have no idea. But let's see if we can at least draw some conclusions about Lady Loki by the end of this video. So just so you know what her stats are before we go. Again, she's a fighter. I don't have any emblems, so that's not going to matter right now, though. But she does have a pretty good attack stat and a very, very good defense stat. So that's important. Basically, what she's going to do is she's kind of like a cleanser in that if I have a bunch of status ailments on me, she's going to take them all and cast them on the enemies, which is cool. Then she deals 150% damage to all enemies, which doesn't look that great, except that she does an additional 8% per transferred status ailment, up to 278% damage in total. So actually, she can do a lot of damage if you have a lot of status ailments. So especially if she has emblems on defense and attack, that just gets all the more better. Okay, let's take her for a roll. All right. So the key is to try and get 3 red matches. I'm going to do this one at the bottom, just because if I do the one at the top first, I think that it could possibly mess up the third match. So this match is going pretty well without Loki already. I'm not going to use Marjana yet either. Well, I suppose I could use it on June. He's kind of weak, but I wanted to use it on Vela potentially. But I also want to see Loki clear Vela's effect away. Let's see. Yeah, let's kill June. And then we'll let Vela go off so that we can use Loki. See what that's like. There we go. All right, so round number 1 with Loki went pretty well, although I don't necessarily think that I needed Loki for this one. This was a pretty good board. Wonder how good Loki is whenever, like, I just barely have enough red tiles. Yes, I know my iron is full, but I don't really have much to spend it on right now. I've got almost all of my buildings I want maxed, and I'm creating harpoons and stuff with it. I just can't. I'm just getting more iron income right now than I can create battle items with. So that's why my iron is full. Oh, nice. Oh my gosh. This is going to be weird. This is Loki versus Ms. Tarot. Ms. Tarot does something similar to Loki, but Ms. Tarot is very fast in purple. Loki's average in red. Oh my gosh, are we going to throw status ailments back and forth at each other? Let's see how weird this is. I think I'm going to go after the right side, just because I don't want Guinevere to start messing things up. Alright, there's that third red match. Alright, good. Let's just get rid of Gwyn while we can. And I don't need to use Loki yet, interestingly enough. See, if I use Gravemaker now, this Terror's just going to throw it back at me. So let's do this. Charge Vela up. Then send it right back. All right, so far so good. So we didn't get to see the back and forth of Miss Tarot and Loki very much there. That would have been interesting, although I don't feel like there can be too much back and forth, only because those status elements do so much damage that, like, maybe it gets thrown back once or twice and then the heroes just die. But that was an interesting match of Loki versus Miss Tarot. Well, this one's interesting. The thing is that Kunshin has an innate ability to resist defense down. So, like, even if he gives me defense down, Loki can't really give it back to him, which is interesting. This might be an okay one to go with, but I'm gonna use different heroes here. I want Gravemaker, not Marjana. Okay. This isn't necessarily an ideal team for this matchup, but I just want to test it out. So that's what I'm doing. Testing Loki. I'm not necessarily creating the most optimal attack teams. All right, so this one's actually going to be pretty easy. So what I'm learning about Loki is she makes for awkward timing. And you know, it's never been the case in the history of this game that as soon as you charge up heroes, you fire them. I mean, you do a lot. I'd say probably 90% of the time. But some of the heroes, you got to time them right. So Loki is definitely one of those. And you don't just fire her as soon as she's ready to go, because you need to throw some status ailments back. This one will be interesting. But that does mean that sort of like I find Grizzle to also be a hero that times awkwardly. Like Man, I take Grizzle against Teleria so much, and it seems like Teleria always goes off like the turn right before Grizzle can go off. And that's just super annoying. And with Loki, you really need her to cleanse. The good thing is it's easier to cleanse after the fact than it is to try and prevent it from happening. So although Grizzle is great, I haven't been having a ton of... I wouldn't call it luck, but just... I'm hoping that Loki is a good replacement for Grizzle in my attack teams. That's what I'll say. And maybe it's not even a replacement. Maybe it's just Loki goes on one team, Grizzle goes on another. All right, so I got to make sure to use Loki before I use Regard. I'm going to hit the non-status folks because we'll just let the status ailment heroes destroy themselves. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Here's another one. All right, this one will be harder. Maybe it'll be harder. What's nice about this attack team that I'm learning to as I go is doing things a little differently. I'm adjusting to this style of attack. So whereas before, I tended to really get stuck with, man, who's the best hero to kill? The status ailment ones or Ursina or what? But with this one, I can focus on killing the direct damage dealers and just kind of waiting for the status ailment heroes to go off so I can use Loki. So, I mean, that's kind of nice. I hope that made any kind of sense. Basically what it means is I can be more targeted with who I'm attacking. More beneficial. All right, now we just have to wait for the tiles to reload. Okay, awesome. Here's another one. Interesting. This is an interesting board. Let's just start at the top and see if we can start a cascade. Wasn't as great of a cascade as I had hoped, but it did enough. Don't necessarily have enough red tiles for the kind of follow-up I need. This should help a little bit though. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna charge up Loki. I'm gonna let Kunshin and Gravemaker go off. And then I'm going to see how, like, everybody's pretty much at full health. I know I saw Purple Diamond, I just messed up, but that's because I wanted to set off Kunshin and Gravemaker. Everybody's pretty much at full life, so it's a good time for those to go off. First, I'm going to hit Misuko with Marjana, and then I'm going to clear the status ailments. Huh. Okay. That's cool. I love how Loki does that. I'm trying to decide if I want to use Gravemaker just for the direct damage here. Let's just do it, because I think I can probably kill Mitsuko that way. Yeah. I'm going to let Drake go off and then use Lady Loki. I didn't have to do it that way, but it was fun. Interesting. I'm just going to skip this one for now because I'm trying to test Lady Loki, and that's not a real good team to test her against. I think these two tiles will kill Teleria. Yeah, okay. Alright, I want to set off Gravemaker so I can use Loki. Man, this is so funny. Before, when I would avoid Gravemaker like the plague or Vela like the plague, Loki lets me just hit them and use their effect. I love that. That's great. And as I had guessed, Loki is really good for offense. I don't know that she'd be so great on defense, just because she's average speed and you can't time. Like, she requires very specific timing. And you just don't get to do that with the automated defenses. Alright, so here's two status effects to throw back at them. Man, that is so great. Loki is fun. I love that. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I got her. This is an awkward board. Alright, this is a problem. I don't even have a red match yet. I'm just trying to make matches around where the red tiles are to get them. Since our mana's already slowed, let's just try and bunch them even more in the middle. Guess I have to make these matches. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get Loki off in time this time. And I could probably just die because of it. Yeah, I'm unfortunately not going to. Let's just leave this one. Yeah, here's the thing. I've found myself lately, at least in regular raids like this, just fleeing if Teleria starts going off multiple times because more often than not, it's just an inevitable death. Like, in a war, I wouldn't necessarily do that because there's always a slim chance. But, like, I'm not going to spend 15 minutes watching Teleria go off multiple times and slowly dying to that. That's just not fun. So, in raids, at least with Teleria, once she goes off a couple times, if I don't have, like, an easy answer available, I just flee. Which side do I want to do? I kind of want to get Vivica out of here just because I don't want her keeping everybody alive. The left side's definitely more threatening, but I just think Gravemaker's about to go off anyway. I might be able to kill Hell before she goes off, so I'm just going to do it this way. You know what's going to be fun? Letting Hell go off. And then using Lady Loki. Ooh, look at all these effects I'm going to throw back. Fire mana down. And the blood effect too. The bleed damage from the barbarian special. That's pretty awesome, and that's why Loki's fun. You know, I think Loki is probably... I mean, she's so much like Ms. Tarot, but more accessible. Obviously not as fast as Ms. Tarot, but she does more damage. All right, let's see what we get out of the hero chest. All right, nothing special out of that. Anyway, okay, well, I guess I'll end it there. That was a pretty good test, I think. And as far as what I think about Loki after testing her a bit here is, yeah, she's pretty good. And I have to say, I had a lot of fun using her ability because this game has gotten miserable at points with all the status ailments, like Solaria's Mana Slow, and then Gravemaker's Fire Burn, and Bela's Water Damage, and even like Drake's Blind, and you have Clarissa's Poison, and like there's just so many heroes that do status ailments that at some point attacking defenses with 20 emblems just became death by status ailment. And so Lady Loki's making it nice because you can focus on, in your attacks, on killing the direct damage dealers like Ursina or snipers, and then letting Loki take care of the rest of the team, because status ailment heroes are basically totally negated. They do nothing against Lady Loki attack teams. So I'm really glad to have her. That was pretty good testing there. I think, at first I got some lucky boards, but later on, we were having to really strategize there, and Lady Loki was, with surgical precision, being able to throw status ailments back at the defense and do a good job at killing them. So I'm really happy with her, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck in trying to get her in the future. And if you got her as well, enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe.